find movies on over-the-air channel 13.3. Movies. Our name says it all.
Hi, I'm John Malice. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. It's a Friday morning. We're going to talk the world of sports. A three-time world boxing champion is in the house. Drove in from Sacramento this morning to be with you and me. Spend some time here talking for the next hour. 436-ME-TV, option 11. Back in a moment. Back here on the program on a Friday morning. Can't believe how fast the week has gone. It's already the weekend here. Hey, you better batten down the hatches and stay cool. It's going to be 107 degrees here in the city of Fresno today. It is amazing. I do want to mention that each and every Monday through Friday, you can watch us live on Comcast, channel 187 and 43.6. and of course 13.1. And at some point, I'm not sure if it's now or how far into the future, you'll also be able to watch us on a fourth station live. So we'll be on 4 different stations, and the other one would be 8.1. I don't think it's quite up and running yet, but that is to come sometime in the future. Then, if you want to watch the replay of this program, you can later on today at 2 o'clock on 13.6, 8 o'clock tonight on 4.6 Biz TV, and then later on, all of these shows, they all get posted to YouTube, and you can watch all of our shows, more than 2,000 that we've done the last 4 years here at Ventura TV, and they stay up there forever. And then if you want to hit me with a tweet, it is at John Mallows, Me TV. I do want to mention this briefly because it happened early this morning. Talking about the U.S. Supreme Court and same-sex marriage, they voted 5-4 in favor. Same-sex marriage is now legal in all 50 states, and you can throw in the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. as well. Prior to that, only 37 states had gay marriage, but now it is legal all across the land. The man who was the swing vote on this was Anthony Kennedy, a conservative on the court appointed by Ronald Reagan back in the 80s. He's the man who swung it in favor of same-sex marriage. So 2 victories in a row for President Obama, back-to-back days. Yesterday it was Obamacare, the subsidies kicking in. The U.S. Supreme Court upheld that, and it was another conservative, John Roberts, appointed by George W. Bush, who was the swing vote yesterday. So 2 conservatives on the swing vote. By the way, Charles C. Johnson, I believe, is going to be the guest here on Monday to talk about this U.S. Supreme Court, the last couple of decisions here, last couple of days. Interesting. Anyway, today is the world of sports, and today, my friends, I want to talk to you about drive and determination and courage and having the ability to take a chance and believing in yourself. And oh, by the way, did I leave out hard work and dedication? I think that figures into just about anything we do in life, right? I want to roll the videotape. A special guest in the studio today. You're looking at video way back when. I'll tell you when in a moment. This is the man right there with the tiger trunks right there. Tony the Tiger Lopez of Sacramento, a 3-time world boxing champion. The bout you're looking at took place 27 years ago at Arco Arena against Rocky Lockridge. Lopez, before the hometown crowd and a national TV audience, pounded away and won a unanimous decision over Lockridge to win the IBF Super Featherweight Championship. The fight was a rough and tumble event. In fact, Lopez, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, knocked down at one point during the fight, right? In this one? Yeah, he was. But he got back up. Sheer determination on his part to come back off the mat, take the title away from Lockridge, who was a puncher, a hard hitter, a slugger, if you will, call it what you want. This fight you're looking at, my friends, was named the Fight of the Year in 1988. This one occurred during a time when boxing was in its heyday. Here is how the decision was announced before a sellout and a frenzied crowd at Arco Arena.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Barry Yates scores at 115-112. Judge Frank Roostich scores at 116-112. Judge Mike Gliena scores at 115-112. For the new junior lightweight champion of the world, Tony the Tiger.
That was the scene 27 years ago. Live in our studio was Tony Lopez, who also won the IBF Super Featherweight Championship in 1990, in which he made Ring Magazine for Comeback Boxer of the Year, and he won the WBA Lightweight Championship in 92. He's now retired from boxing, runs a bail bond agency. He is also a bounty hunter in Sacramento. He drove all the way from the capital city today. Hey, and he might even be running for mayor of Sacramento soon. Interested in your phone call, because today we're going to talk about drive and determination, courage, what it takes to be a winner. And you can call in at 436-ME-TV option 11. Also offer up some email questions if you want. You know our email address here by now. We're back with our program here on the showroom floor in just a moment.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. We need your help to capture this fugitive. Julio Cesar Guevara Mejia is wanted by the FBI in Sacramento for the attempted murder of a 19-year-old female in November of 2007. Police say he lured the young woman to a hotel room where he shot her 3 times in the chest. He could be in Palm Springs, California or Houston, Texas. Contact the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI if you have any information.
It's almost time.
Now we'll find out once and for all about Clark Kent, the Superman.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a TV show.
Yes, but who is he? What's his name?
He's Superman.
Golly, Clark, won't that be wonderful seeing Superman?
Fighting a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and television the Me TV way.
No one can do the things that Superman does.
The adventures of Superman.
Now on Me TV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here on the program on Connect with Me, just a reminder, I believe Charles C. Johnson is going to be here on Monday. And remember, this guy's such a character. This guy, Twitter banned this guy. He's no longer on Twitter because Twitter said, you know what? You're too difficult for us to deal with. And so they just banned, they put a piece of tape over his mouth. He can't talk anymore on Twitter. So we're going to talk to him about that and then the last couple of Supreme Court decisions. That should be a fun show. And then on Tuesday, we'll talk to Jim Belcher, Christina's Natural Ranch Market. We'll talk about the GMOs. Are they good for you? Are they bad for you in terms of genetic foods? Hey, Tony Lopez is here. Good morning, Tony. How are you?
Good morning, John. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks
All
for
right.
driving in from SAC.
Yeah, glad to be here, man.
Hey, I really am glad. Hey, so brings back a lot of memories. I saw your mom in the videotape there, and your brother Sal, who boxed before you, of course, and a little bit older. I think he's older than both of us, as a matter of fact. But,
Yeah, I think he is too.
yeah, how's he doing?
He's
Good?
doing great. Yeah, he's been retired for a few years, quite a few years now, and he's just living his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing the right thing, I guess, you know.
Does that fight bring back memories? Do you wish you could go back in time and kind of relive it to a certain extent?
You know, I used to, not so much anymore. It's like, okay. It was that was my life back then. So, you know, I take it as that was a section of my life. It's over. It's time to move on. Let's reap the benefits of doing what I did, but let's move on. You know, so
How do you reap the benefits now, so many years later, as a three times? It's one thing to win it once, to you know, and you lost the title, and then you came back and won it, and then you won another title. That's pretty phenomenal, especially back then.
Yeah, you know, boxing's changed a lot. You know, and you know, and there's reasons why. It's because, let's say your son was boxing, and you walked into the gym. You didn't go every day, but you went 1-2 times a week on average, and you seen the kids train in the neighborhood, and you seen this guy has 15 kids in his garage in the neighborhood, and you're paying $100 to $150 a month for your kid to train there, and you go one day, you go, well, I could do this at my house. I could turn my garage into a gym, and I could teach fighters how to fight. I kind of know what to do already, but yet you've never trained, nor have you boxed in your life. So what you do is you turn around and open a gym in your garage, and you get 10 kids. So you're thinking, you know, that's what, $150, $150 a month. That's a lot of money. That's a house payment for some people. You know what I mean? So it's actually people took that to another level, and that's why you're getting some of the kids and some of the fighters now. That's what I think is happening to boxing in the last 15, 20 years.
So is the sport watered down to a certain extent?
Yes.
The talent is watered down.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Is it because of the promoters, or is it because of just the lack of talent out there?
I think it's a lack of training. And people get it wrong. I've said this my whole life. It's not that trainers make fighters great. It's the fighters that make the trainers great. There's only so many punches you can throw. There's only so many ways you can block or defense against it. There's only so many ways you can move in a boxer. We can all teach you the same way, but there's going to be trainers that have a little bit different style, and you're going to connect with that trainer. And that's really what it is. So it's the fighter making the trainer, not the trainer making the fighter. Because, when the bell rings, guess what the trainer goes? He goes outside. The fighter has to actually perform. So, I always thought it was the fighter that made the trainer.
But the trainer can see during the fight. He's kind of like the outside guy looking in from a different viewpoint during the fight. So how does a trainer help a fighter during the fight?
Well, like always, like when I go back to the corner, because you're right. I see, when you're
it's a different
fighting,
set of eyes.
Yeah, they see the big picture. I see. I'm right focused in. I may not see some things, like maybe he's throwing the left hook and dropping his hand when he throws the left hook, and I'm bobbing under it, but I'm not throwing an overhand right. Then he'd say, hey, man, look, he's throwing that left hook, he's dropping that left hook, bring that overhand right back over. And so you go under thinking that, so when you throw his left hook, you automatically just come back over with that right hand. And so that's what the trainer does in the corner.
Yeah, I've got to take a break here already on Connect with Me. We're talking with Tony the Tiger Lopez, very famous fighter out of Sacramento, won the title 3 different times. But one of the main points that I do want to talk about today, I've known Tony a long time, known his family, and I've never seen a fighter with more guts, more determination, and more drive and courage in wanting to achieve something than this guy right here. And he can talk about that. I don't know if he's a motivational speaker, but he certainly could be. 436-ME-TV option 11. Hey, I think, in my opinion, are we short on people like this today? And can he be a good teacher to the younger generation? 436-ME-TV option 11. Offer up some email questions, if you will. Back in just a moment.
Watch Dr. TV on over-the-air channel 13.9.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
We're back here with Tony the Tiger Lopez, and I do want to talk about guts and determination. And, I don't know, am I wrong in saying that I see a lack of discipline, guts, determination from many of our young people today? Do they want things too quick, too fast, too much at one time? Got a call here. Let me, caller, hang on 1 second.
I don't think it's a lack of guts. I think it's just they want everything too fast. I had 30-something fights before I even got my first world title because I had to earn that. I had to earn
30 fights before you got a crack at the title.
Yeah, I think it was 30-something before I even got it. It was late 20s, early 30 fights that before I even got a crack at my first world title. That's because I had to earn that. When I stepped in the ring, knowing that Rocky Lockridge was a champion, my job was not only beat him up but beat him down to expect to take that title from him because he's a champion. He's, being the champion, you have 2 or 3 rounds ahead of time, already before the first bell.
You have to have confidence in yourself to get in there before you do that too, which you did. Let me take this call. Caller, go ahead. You're on the air.
Tony, let me ask you a question. Do you find kids are tough from let's say broken families, whatever, and you can deal with the toughness with a boxer, and you can get most of them, maybe to put that toughness that they were growing up with into the ring, because I see a lot of kids that I can say, wow, this boy might be a good boxer, and like yourself, Tony, you've been through it all. You know where I'm coming from. But I think by getting some of these tough kids out of the streets and put that emphasis at being tough, and then getting in the ring, because a lot of them won't last anyway. But I think it's easy for yourself, like a trainer or whatever, as well as a great boxer, to emphasize all that mental thing and let them know that there's a way out in using boxing, and because I know quite a few kids that have done that, so. Forget the gangs and whatever, but I think boxing it's a great thing for these kids to get into.
Boxing is like a revolving door. But you're right. You're 100% right. I don't think too many great fighters, or any at all, had come from golden spoons. I think they all come from the lower parts of your neighborhood, or a little bit rougher housing, as myself. And, for me, it was a way to get out of what I need to do, because I'm not going to say I'm not very educated, but I am educated. I have a high school diploma. I did 1 year in college. I majored in cafeteriology, so I quit college and got a job. But, at that.
But you're a businessman now.
Yes. So, and here's the part, I think along with education, you got to have street smarts. You got to have people personalities. You have to have a little bit of everything in today's life. It's not like it was 20, 30 years ago. You take a kid, and let me tell you something. Boxing is a revolving door. I trained in Oak Park my whole life, and you know what? We get kids trying to challenge us all the time. They come and go, I can whoop you. Well, jump in the ring then. It's a different light. Now you're in the ring with somebody that knows how to fight, knows how to miss, and has a hit and not be hit. So it changes the perspective of people, and it changes the kids in a perspective that says, hey, maybe I'm not as tough as I thought I was. Maybe I should learn a little bit more. Maybe I should have a little bit more discipline, because you would have to. As a fighter, I was taught as a young age, hey, man, if it's not yours, don't touch it, because, we went other places to go fight. We went out of town, out of state, not that much in those days, but we did, but we had to have our mannerisms. It had to be right. Our trainer wouldn't take us. If it ain't yours, don't touch it. You answer yes sir, no sir. You be respectful to everybody, all the adults out there. Or you ain't going no more. But we train every day so we can go. So yeah, of course we're gonna act right. So I think it helps kids in a lot of disciplinary areas in their life. It really does.
Well, I want to get into the discipline part, and I do want to talk about whether or not boxing is good for kids to get out of trouble, to stay out of trouble. But I do want to roll the videotape again from the monologue. It's the Rocky Lockridge fight, and this is just from a layman's point of view. I never boxed, never was involved in any kind of professional sports, obviously. But this fight here, to me, as an outsider, I remember watching this, and I thought to myself, this guy's got more guts and determination. What can you do by using this fight, the film of this fight, as an educational tool for young kids today? Because when you got knocked down, did you think that you had lost this fight?
No.
You didn't?
No. No.
Because you got up right, but you were a little dazed, as I recall.
Yeah.
I don't recall it totally because it was a long time ago. Yeah. But you didn't think you lost the fight. But what do you think? How can this be used as an educational tool for kids today to say, look, you can enter a fight like this, maybe be the underdog for that matter, fight a champion, don't give up. What can we learn from it?
I mean, you can take this seriously. You can take this film in today's time. You can take this film and do anything you want with it, really. Because I mean, look at it. I was the underdog. This guy was fighting all the young up and comers. I had just entered the top 10 in the world by beating Tony Pep, and so I took his number 10 ranking. And then he was a champion, and you can, as a top 10 fighter, you can fight for a world title. So he decided to take me in and take me out. He was one of Lou Duva's fighters. And so was he tough? Was he rough? Yes, sir. Yes. Was he strong? Did he hit hard? Yes, he was. But you know what? You know, the way I was brought up in my gym is that, you know, I'm just as tough, if not tougher. I spar. I've always sparred up. You know, today's fighters don't challenge themselves. You know, the trainers go, oh well, you know, he's too good for him to spar with. No, you know, that's okay. You know, I've always sparred up. I very rarely sparred down. Meaning I sparred with better opponents, bigger opponents.
So it's okay to get roughed up in the gym a little bit before a fight.
You know, I've got
Makes
my butt.
you tougher?
Oh, I had my butt whipped more times in the gym than I ever had in the ring. I've been dazed more times in the gym than I ever have in the ring. You know, Stan Ward, who was a California state champion back in the day, well, I was giving him, and I was like maybe, I don't know, maybe 14, 13, 15, and I was giving him defense, but, you know, we had to wear the whole headgear stuff, and because he'd throw punches here and there, and, you know, he was a big heavyweight, so I weighed maybe 120 pounds, but I'm bombing on this guy because I can, because I'm giving, he's not punching back. So I figure I'm gonna take advantage of this. So, you know, even at that, and then one time he popped me with a jab, knocked my head back. He got yelled at, you know, but it's also a lesson for me. Okay, well, I got you now. Now I'm gonna get back on my defense. You know, so it's a learning thing. It depends on how you look at it. You know, I looked at it as, okay, I'm good with that.
What can they learn from life out of watching that film of that fight?
Well, if you showed the knockdown, I mean, the knockdown got kind of ugly. I didn't think it was that ugly when I got knocked down, but actually, if you watch it on TV, it was kind of ugly. And then, but you know, determination. You know what? If you only knew what was going in my mind. I remember like it was yesterday. I got hit above my left ear. My whole body went numb. I was throwing a jab, and he countered over with the right, and he caught me on my ear, right above my ear, and my whole body just went numb. And I knew I was falling, but I, like London Bridges, I just, my head was there, my whole body was doing this, and I looked towards the ground, and I seen the canvas getting closer. I actually don't remember hitting the canvas. I remember rolling over, looking up and seeing lights in it, and thinking, shoot, I better get up, you know. And I got up. The next thing you know, I'm up, and I'm stumbling back a little bit. Referee grabs me, pulls me, and says, "Are you okay?" Of course, I'm gonna say yeah. And but in reality, you ever spin around, like you spin around real fast and you're walking like that? That's exactly how I felt until about the beginning of the 10th round. That happened in the 8th round. So for 2 rounds, my whole world was spinning.
So the lesson from that, from everybody out there, should be,
man, once you get knocked down, doesn't mean you're out. You know, it depends on how much determination you have to win, to finish, you know. And that was my determination. I had to not only finish the fight, but I had to win this fight. And you know, it's what you do. Just because you've been knocked down doesn't mean it's over.
And just because you're knocked down in life is what you mean.
In anything that you do, it's a setback. That's all it was. Getting dropped in the 8th round was a setback. Okay, now I got to work a little bit harder to pick up a few points. No big deal. I can do it. There ain't nothing I can't do. If you tell me I can't do it, don't tell me that, 'cause I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm not Superman, so I'm not trying to jump single buildings in single bound. But you know, within my humanly right that I think I can do, if I really want to do it, there's nothing in my life that I've never been able to do.
Right. Tony the Tiger Lopez is here, 436-ME-TV, option 11. We'll take your phone calls. Got an open line here talking about courage, determination, getting up off the mat, if you will, not only in the ring, but if in life. Life is full of setbacks, so you got to get up off the mat each and every day and have the courage to do it. We're back with our program here in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer. And now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean Dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here with Tony the Tiger Lopez, a 3-time world boxing champion. We do have a phone call. Go ahead, you're on the air. Caller? Oops. Okay, 436 MeTV option 11. Okay, got a couple of email questions here. Well, more than two. Does your guest study, or at the time, I guess, when you were boxing, did you ever study video of your prospective opponents?
It's a good question. I pretended I did for TV one time, and that was it. No, I didn't. You know, and the reason being is, I guess, you know, for me, being as good as I want to be was a mental thing for me. You know, I always thought, well, shoot, they've never fought me, so what makes you think they can whoop me? You know, I always put myself on a pedestal in boxing, in the ring, not outside the ring, but in the ring. That was my house. I built it, and I rule. And that was my attitude the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Is it possible to use boxing as a springboard to another career? That's an email question, by the way.
You know, I don't know. You know, maybe, because you know why? I don't know. I think your peripheral vision helps you in sports. I think boxing heightens your peripheral vision immensely. Even my peripheral vision at 52 years of age is still very good. You know, I see things driving down the road that I wouldn't normally see, but sometimes it catches me.
Yeah.
You know, it still does sometimes. You know?
Hey, another email question here. It says, is there any trainer in sight that would be good for grade school kids? Besides yourself, maybe.
You know what? Anybody that knows the game. But, you know, they have to understand that every kid has different personality. Every kid is not going to be a fighter. Every kid is not going to be a boxer. Every kid is not going to be a boxer puncher. Every kid is going to be something different. So if once you have a trainer that can recognize that, and he's able to train a boxer, train a fighter, and train a boxer fighter, then you have a good trainer. You know, but he's got to be able to know who's going to do what. You know, by just letting them do what they do, the fighters are going to determine what they're going to do.
Are you a motivational speaker?
Yes, I am.
In Sacramento?
All over.
For all over.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you talk about? What's your main message?
Mostly about goals and how to attain them. You know, beliefs and how to believe in yourself. You know, it varies. You know, people normally tell me, hey, this is what we need to talk about. This is what we're talking about today. Go off and do your thing. And I don't have papers. I just tell the truth. You know, I don't read off.
You don't have notes. You don't have anything.
I don't keep notes. None of that.
It's all up here. Mm-hmm. It's all up here. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you not, at the invitation of Bill Walsh one time, did you not speak before the 49ers and their team?
Mm-hmm.
What year was that? And was Joe Montana there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was he? And what did you talk about?
Well, that's something to talk about. You know why? Because that was the beginning of something that I've kept record of myself. But it was in 1989, and it was before their first Super Bowl win. It was before they made any cuts. Randy Cross, Montana, everybody, they had made no cuts. Everybody was there. And so I went to go talk to Bill Walsh.
Hang on, caller. Go ahead, Tony. Hang on, caller.
I went to go talk to Bill Walsh in his office. You know, we'd sit down. He's going to tell me what he wants me to talk about. Bill Walsh is an amazing man. I never knew a lot about Bill Walsh until he told me. And this is what he told me. No pull, no punches, no lies, real stuff. So we're sitting there talking, and I'm in some shorts and some rolled up socks, and you know, just being me. And I think I'm in a Pendleton, or I'm in a white beater tank top, and so he's sitting there talking to me. He goes, "Oh yeah, you know," he goes, "Good job. You know, I've seen your fight. Good job. You know, I've always been a local Northern California guy. Blah 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 blah." And he goes, and I'm sitting there going, "Okay, you know, I don't know what to say to him. You know, I don't know." And so he goes, and I guess he sensed that, and he goes, "You know," he goes, "You like lowriders?" And I'm going, "Yeah, you know, it's kind of yeah, I like lowriders." He goes, "Did you know I was a lowrider back in my days?" And I'm serious. This is what he's telling me.
Hang on, caller.
And so I'm going, "No, cut it out." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, I used to cruise Whittier Boulevard." I'm going,
"Really?
Are you serious?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "So this back in what was that, in the 80s?" So I go, "Okay, so what's famous on Whittier Boulevard and everybody knows about it?" And everybody knew the hamburger stand. Everybody knew the hamburger stand. So it was like a little taco stand, kind of like taco stand. And so he goes, "The taco stand." He goes, "I go there all the time." He goes, "I was adopted as a child, and my parents that raised me lived in Whittier Boulevard, in Whittier, California." And if we started talking, it was amazing. It was amazing talk, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
So caller, go ahead. You're on the air. What's your question?
Yes. Do you see boxing is becoming less and less significant with MMA fighting and some more of the extreme fighting type of shows?
You know, I think it's the change of times. You know, boxing is never going to go anywhere. It's been around since Adam and Eve, and God made another man. So they've been fighting since then. So I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. I think boxing's kind of lost its a little bit of its luster because the fighters aren't the same. You know, the wars aren't there anymore. The wars that people want to see. I'm a fight fan. I want to see people get beat up and knocked out. I do. I'm sorry, but that's what I've done my whole life. You know, with MMA, I'm not an MMA fan because I don't like the grappling part. I don't want to see two men wrestle. I just don't. You know, I want to see two men get in there and to strictly make someone miss, knock someone out. That's what I like. You know, it's the challenge stage of it. So, you know, but I don't think boxing is ever going to go anywhere. I just think, you know, it's hit a little rough bump, but it's been doing that for a million years now. So,
hey, I'm going to take a break here with Tony the Tiger Lopez, but plenty of time left here for you to call in and an open phone line, 436-MeTV option 11. When we come back, I want to ask Tony what he talked about to that 49er team way back in 1989 when they won that Super Bowl. And now I believe that was the same year that Bill Walsh retired. At the invitation of Bill Walsh, he spoke to the 49ers. We're back here in just a moment, 436-MeTV option 11.
We need help to find this missing child. Hallie Cummings was 7 when she went missing. She was last seen in Satsuma, Florida in February of 2009. This is what we believe she looks like today at age 11. If you have any information, please call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That's 1-800-843-5678. Please help bring Hallie Cummings home.
Take a look at this. Let's play. This is too hip for you. I'll slow it down. Let's play.
Watch all your favorite classic game shows on Buzzer TV, KBBC Digital Channel 13.7.
Back here on the program, 436-MeTV option 11. I do want to remind you about Monday's program. Charles C. Johnson, the guy that's all over the internet with his internet journalistic abilities, and he's a journalist. And the guy's been banned from Twitter. I just find that so funny. But anyway, he'll be here to talk about that in these Supreme Court decisions. That'll be on Monday's program. Tony the Tiger is here, 436-MeTV option 11. So what did you talk about way back in the day to that 49er team, that famous 49er team that won the Super Bowl there?
Well, you know, I'm literally responsible for their winning that Super Bowl that year in their first of 2 Super Bowl wins. I really am.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, ask Bill Walsh. And so, well, I wish you could ask. But anyways, it was kind of crazy because I got invited through a mutual friend to go speak to them, do a motivational speak. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. Okay, whatever. So I went down there. It was at Sierra College. Went down there and started talking to Bill Walsh.
In the cafeteria? Was it in the cafeteria?
No, it was kind of like an orchestra room with a bunch of seating like this and stage here.
Yeah, and the whole team was there, huh?
Everybody, before they made any cuts. And so everybody was there. And so Bill Walsh says, he's telling me, he goes, look, man, these guys only have a attention span of 10 minutes, so make it quick. You know, if they start gnawing off, I'll cut it off and, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Hang on a moment, caller. I'll get right to you.
And so I said, okay, whatever, you know, don't bother me any. So he goes, okay. So we got up, we walk out there, and they're all rolling in. Randy Cross, you know, you're in a college, and the big doorways are in the clouds, and I'm standing on the stage, but they're all coming in through the doors, and this big old shadow comes in this door, and I'm going, holy, what is this? And so, and it's Randy Cross. He's huge. I was going, oh my God, that's a big boy.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah, I do remember that. And so we're getting down there, And so we started talking. And Bill Walsh wanted me to say a few things that didn't make sense to me either. So I was going, come on, man, they're not going to believe that. He goes, just tell them anyways. Okay, whatever. So we started talking. They started sitting down, and he goes, the question that he wanted me to tell him, the answer he wanted me to give him, he goes, and it came up, and he goes, they're going to ask you, and it came up, he goes, how long do you have to abstain from sex before you fight? And I go, 4 months. And they all start going, man, quit lying, and all this stuff. But Bill Walsh told me to stick with that story. So I go, dude, they're not going to believe that. And he goes, okay. So I got off in my little tent. I go, wait a minute. I go, I'm a world champion. I go, what are you trying to be? I go, I already am. I go, don't tell me what I do and what I don't do. And then we started going off. And then about 45, 50 minutes into this thing, when Bill Walsh said it was only the last 8 to 10, we're in at 45, 50 minutes, and Bill Walsh comes in and goes, okay, that's it, that's it, we got to still work out today. And he goes, and so, I left. I came back. He invited me to the first home game. I got to come out with the team when they came on the field. I could come out, which was really cool. And I got to come out with the 49ers when they came out, and then they won their first Super Bowl that year, and so Bill Walsh sends me this letter with a little package thing like this, and so it says, thanks to your talk, we won the Super Bowl, you made us champions, and blah blah, real nice, being real nice, and he signed Bill Walsh, which I still have
framed.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually in a safe. It's not even framed. And so I opened up the little package. It's a team Super Bowl watch.
You're kidding.
I have a 1989 team Super Bowl watch, 49ers team.
That's amazing. Caller, thanks for your patience. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, Tony, would you have like 20 minutes after the show? I'm running for mayor in 2016 that I could just talk with you for a second. I live right down the street from the station.
Yeah. Who is this?
Paul Condon.
Who's this?
How you doing, John?
I'm sorry, who's
Paul
this?
Condon.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll make time.
Yeah, you can run down. Do you have a question for Tony today? Do you have a question for him on the show? Go ahead. You still there? Okay, I guess he hung up. He wants to come down and meet you.
Hey, that's all right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Right, we got plenty of videotape here to roll. I do want to talk about a couple of other fights here. We just, we can roll the Julio Chavez fight. We have a couple of clips there. We can just roll both of those clips at the same time. I don't know what you remember about this fight, but
everything.
Everything. Do you remember everything about every single fight you ever had? Because your record is and was. Let me put my glasses on. 50 wins, 8 losses, 1 draw. You had 34 KOs. Do you remember every one of those fights?
Not every single one, but if you talk me through them, I'll remember them. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and now you're obviously on the left there with the long gold trunks, but if there's anything that you had to do over again, would you do it? Would you do anything different?
Yeah, well, I had a different trainer for this one, and my trainer wanted me to box more, and I wanted to go brawl. I'm not a boxer. I'm a fighter. And
what's the difference between the two?
A boxer thinks, a fighter punches. No. Well, a boxer is like your Muhammad Ali's, your Sugar Ray Leonards. They move a lot. They can actually be methodical. They can think 3 or 4 shots prior. A fighter,
is
bell
that Joe
rings,
Frazier?
Is a Joe Frazier,
Tony
Mike
Lopez.
Tyson, or Tony Lopez. The bell rings. Let's get it on. Let's do it. I'm not afraid to get knocked out, nor would I be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed to get knocked out running, but I would never be embarrassed to get knocked out fighting. And so, I know.
You've never been knocked out.
No. But if it was to ever happen, I wouldn't mind. I mean, not like I was looking for it, but if I'm fighting and I'm in the heat of a fight and I get caught, I just got caught.
Yeah, we're looking at the Chavez fight here, and let me ask you a question, because this has come up so much during the last few years with football, and we saw what happened with Muhammad Ali, one of my favorite fighters of all time. The poor man, he's still alive, thank God, knock on wood, but they say he has Parkinson's and he can't talk as a result of boxing. Too many shots to the head. Would you recommend boxing to any young kid that's coming up? Because of the sport's always been rough, and you know what? The sport's always going to be rough. So therefore, knowing the risk, you took a risk, everybody takes a risk, would you recommend it?
Of course I would, without a doubt.
Is there a risk of getting hurt?
I taught my daughter to box.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would do it 100%.
Yeah. Caller, go ahead. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
Tony, let me ask you a real quick question. When you were fighting younger, winning the titles, were you married? Because if I was your wife, I'm just saying, to watch you, take all those punches, I would faint. I mean, what's happening in boxing nowadays in the heavyweight division? There's no luster. There's no back in the Listins and Muhammad Ali's. I think most of the good fighters like yourself, welterweights, lightweights, and all that. I think it's more. I love that because they take punch, and they don't. But the heavyweights nowadays, you don't hear any names. You don't hear the stuff that you used to hear maybe in the 70s or 80s, But boxing has gone away, except for your division probably, and downward, like the lightweights and the featherweights and that's more what you want to see, in boxing. I wouldn't spend that money just to go see heavyweights and they run around, walk around, and because they just don't have the punches anymore like they used to, with the Frasers and whatever. But that's all I wanted to know, because if I was a family member watching you boxing, oh man, I would have a heart attack.
It was always fun, but you know what? He makes a good point there. The heavyweight division's gone. It's not even the United States champion anymore.
I can't even name a person who is in the heavyweight
But
division.
watch this. I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. Andy Nance from San Francisco used to be a fighter back in the day. Trains fighters and gets fights and all that stuff. And so has a heavyweight right now that's as big as Klitschko. Probably, I say stronger and better than Klitschko. The boxing people are saying he can beat Klitschko today. This guy's, I think he's 8-0 with like 6 knockouts. Yeah. This guy's a pure fighting machine out of Oakland, California. They're moving him. I say the U.S. is about maybe another year or so from holding their own U.S. world heavyweight champion again. Yeah. And I'm excited. It's exciting news for boxing. It really is.
Hey, Tony Lopez is here. He's a 3-time world boxing champion and, I don't know, maybe future politician. But by the way, if you need a bail bondsman, he's the guy. You have to go up to Sacramento. But he'll get you out of trouble. Don't worry about it. 436-MEET-TV, option 11. We're back with the program here in a moment.
A top-secret location. It's the spies who love me, bringing together MeTV's top super spies to fight evil at a memorable moment's notice. They're daring.
That's right.
Brave.
Now what are we gonna do?
The best we can.
Suave.
Does that apply to me, Oscar?
Possibly.
And smart.
The yellow finger in the gun trick.
Maxwell Smart.
MeTV Fresno, channel 43.6 and Xfinity 187.
When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Back here with our program today, and Tony the Tiger Lopez. I do want to roll the videotape of John Molina. You remember this fight? I do.
I remember all three of them.
John Molina. Oh my gosh, what a name. He can't just have one John. He had to be John Molina. Let's roll the videotape. What do you remember about this fight here?
Which one's this one? Everything. This is the one.
I don't recall this one here. You're obviously on the right.
This might be at Darko, isn't it? I don't remember. It looks like a. Well, I'll tell you as soon as I start punching it. Yeah, I'll tell you which one it's going to be here in a second, because there was 3 of them.
Yep.
They were all 3 tough.
Oh yeah, I know.
You know what? This guy was just a phenomenal fighter. He really was. He was a boxer, and look at him move. I mean, he was fast. He was fast on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
He gave angles. I mean, he made me think, and I don't like to think. I don't want to think. I just want to throw punches. But with this guy, he made you think, and him being as fast as he was, it's hard to fighting thing at the same time. So
you come from a boxing family. Your brother Sal boxed before you. He did not win 3 titles, but still a successful boxer in his own right. He retired. Your father was your manager?
Yes.
And then, of course, your mom was always at your fights. Now, the caller prior, he asked, if he was married to you, then, he'd always be worried, getting in a fight. What did your mom say about boxing? Because we saw your mother there right by you at the beginning of the program when they announced that you had won the world title. I would imagine your mom was ready to pull her hair out. Could she even watch any of your fights?
She never missed one. The one fight when I got knocked down, the Lockridge fight, the first Lockridge fight, I guess when I got knocked down, from what she told me afterwards, that she got up and ran to my dressing room. And then she stayed there back then. And then finally, one of the guards said that, yeah, it looks good. Looks like Tony's gonna win. Then she came out. That's when she came out.
Yeah.
But that was the only time. Other than that, I mean, my dad did it. My brother did it. I inherited it.
Yeah. So that's why you became a fighter, basically.
Yeah, it's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I just like to fight.
Yeah. So in teaching other kids how to fight, I want to kind of bring this point home today, because this was kind of our theme today, talking about drive and determination and courage, taking chances, believing in yourself. How much does hard work and dedication play into it? Because I find that you mentioned earlier that kids want things too quick nowadays. I want to know about hard work and determination. Are we past the point when people around the country now are dedicated to hard work?
Yeah. I think they're allergic to it. I think it's a new system where I mean, there's a whole bunch of. It's a different world today. Is there?
In other words, how much hard work did it take you to achieve what you did? Did hard work play into it, or were you just lucky? I mean,
luck to me, luck has nothing to do with it.
It's hard work.
It's work. I worked my butt off like you would not believe.
Yeah.
I did things to my body that today I'm thinking, I was an idiot.
How did I do that?
How did I even
Were you up at like 4 a.m, like the movie Rocky?
Yeah. There was times I was running. There was times I'm running. My brother would get me up. My brother was a very, very, very dedicated. Even as an amateur, he was very dedicated. And as a kid, when I wanted to go cruise Williamland Park and cruise on Saturday nights, I'm out there running at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they're still cruising the park. And I used to go around the park going, this is crazy. I'm out here running, training for a fight, and these guys are still cruising. I want to be out cruising,
Yeah.
But you got to make that determination of what you want to do, and everybody does. And here's what it is, man. I don't really care what you do. Boxing was my thing. TV is your thing. It might be garbage person for another man. Like my dad always told me. He goes, son, if you're the hardest worker out there, you'll never not have a job. He goes, all you got to do is try your hardest at everything. He goes, no, it doesn't matter what you do. Just, my sport's boxing, and because boxing's on TV and I guess it's a sport, right? People appreciate it, But what about the garbage man that works just as hard, that gets up every morning to go to work and feed his family? What about him? Just because he ain't on TV, he doesn't get the same respect, but he works just as hard.
That's right.
There's stuff that other people do in their lives that is just as hard, that get no recognition. You know what I mean?
See, you struck me with something that you said. You were out training 4 a.m, running, and you would see these guys cruising at 4 a.m, and you wanted to cruise with them. What in your brain kicked off and said, no, I'm going to stop myself. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay focused on what I'm doing right here. I'm going to run.
Winning. I want to win.
That's what stopped you from crossing to the other side.
Yeah. I mean, Why else do I train? Why else would anybody train so hard, be dedicated so much, and not eat this, not drink that, not do this, and not do that?
Yeah.
Because they want to win.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
That's right.
All right. Tony the Tiger Lopez is here. A few minutes remaining. 9 minutes remaining in the program. 436-ME-TV, option 11. If you want to answer or ask any questions to our guest today. Back in a moment.
Retro TV, your home for classic television. The greatest shows in history are here for you to enjoy. Join Cosby and Colt as secret agent men in I Spy. Ride along the Ponderosa with the Cartwrights in Bonanza. Hit the Beat with Joe Friday in Dragnet. And that's not all. Retro TV offers endless fun and excitement for the whole family to enjoy. Retro TV, the best in classic television.
You can find Retro TV on over-the-air channel 13.4.
We get our speed from Mom and Dad. They do stuff super fast. And now they got this new kitchen, so they're even faster. So they can help us with our free throws.
The time-saving Frigidaire Gallery line with a quick preheat and smudge-proof stainless steel that resists fingerprints and cleans easily. It's mealtime in no time, from start to clean.
Frigidaire Gallery. Save more during Frigidaire Gallery bonus days when you buy 3 or more qualifying appliances. See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here with Tony the Tiger Lopez. Caller, go ahead.
Tony, let me ask you a real question. You've been brought up tough because you know your brothers or whatever, and your dad. By hearing you talk, you gave a lot of credit to your father, pushing you and telling you that you can achieve anything as long as you work for it. Okay, you're not given anything, material things like that. You have to earn the things that you have been given, and God has blessed you and your family, and I thank your families for that because they kept you out of trouble, and they told you that if you can achieve it, you're going to have to work hard. You're not going to be given it to you, but you're going to work hard. Another real quick question is, this kid from Avenal, I forgot his name. Have you ever seen him box at all? I hear he's going to be pretty good. So that's one of the questions I want to ask you. But you know what? I gave a lot of praise to your father for what he's done.
Okay, thanks, caller.
I think my dad had a big part of it. I think every father knows their kids. I think if my dad knew, my family used to tease me all the time. You tell me not to do something, I'm going to do it. As a matter of fact, when I turned pro, they didn't want me to turn pro because I was a mess up. I was always out partying, out doing crazy things and doing what kids do. And one day I came home and told them, guess what I did at the dinner table, right? And so they're going, what'd you do today? And my dad's going, now what'd you do? Like, okay, now what'd you
what?
do? Yeah. And so I go, I turned pro today. And my mom goes, Tony, you didn't. It's the same way when I told her I got married too. And so anyway, so she did the same. She did the same
thing when you got married.
Yeah, because I didn't tell nobody I got married. I kind of like eloped. I knew my wife 22 days before I married her.
Tony, you're kidding.
No. And we've been married 16 years.
Well, that's what young people do, I guess.
You know.
You don't think, right?
Yeah, I just, I'll think about it later. Let's just do it
let's
today.
just do it,
Yeah,
man.
do it. We'll suffer the consequences later. And so, but it was real neat. I think if parents knows their child, and if you tell me no, I'm going to do it. And, don't feel the fire, because that was my fire.
Hey, let me ask you. I got an email question here. Is Tony, have you ever taken your talent and used it as a motivational speaker to try to land a corporate world job?
No. But you know what? I have spoken to the legislators. I've told, to this day, I've been told that my speech to the legislation was probably the best one they've ever heard in their life. And I still get compliments on it today. That was 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I tell the truth. Because I'm a realist. I don't look at fantasy. I don't believe in fantasy. I believe in what's happening, what's really going on in my world. It's how I survived the down of the economy with my bail bonds business, and because reality set in, and you have to change the way you do things and live your life. And so, I'm willing to make them changes. As long as you are willing to make changes in your life to get where you need to be, then that's fine. That's what I do. Most people aren't. You'd be surprised.
Yeah. Talk about your bail bonds business. How'd you get into that? And you own it. You operate it. You're a businessman.
Yeah.
Where'd you learn the business side of it?
Kind of weird. I was fighting Chavez in Mexico.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I ran into a bounty hunter from Sacramento.
Okay.
And he walks into my gym one day when I was training in Monterrey, Mexico, and says, "Hey, I'm from Sacramento, blah, blah, blah. I'm a bounty hunter. I'm out chasing guys over here." And so we started, we let him hang out with us for 2 weeks, and we fed him. We took him to we got him in the locker room. We got him in the corner. We took really good care of him, and he had a blast. And he goes, hey man, when you're ever ready to get out of the boxing business, man, come look me up and get into the bail bonds business. Well, I forgot. A few years go by. I think it was like 8 years went by, I forgot. So I became a PI when I retired. I didn't do anything for a year. I just goofed off.
Private eye?
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but I didn't like that. I felt like more like a peeping Tom. So, because back then it was most like, watch my wife, watch my husband. You watch him. I ain't got time for that. So, and then it ventured into. I remember what this guy said. So I went to his business, and back then minimum wage was what, $6 something an hour. Yeah. So I went from making hundreds of thousands of dollars
in boxing,
high hundred thousands of dollars in boxing, to making $6 something an hour.
Yeah.
But like my dad said, hey, you got to crawl before you walk, and don't be too proud to take a job. So I had to learn a business, and the bail bonds business was a very good business. I'm willing to pay my dues. So like the kids are not today. Everybody wants to make $1 million today. Well, that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is you can get a job making an average pay, and if you do a good job, you can advance, and if you don't, you won't. Period. That's it in a nutshell.
You running for mayor of Sacramento?
I'm really seriously thinking about it, yeah.
Would that be 2016?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the current mayor, Kevin Johnson, the former basketball player, they're building a new arena there. Thanks to him, they saved the Kings from moving. But what do you think about that?
Well, I'm a sports fan, number one. What's more important to me, I think the survival of Sacramento, not a sports team. I think okay, it's good that they saved the Kings. Okay, that's a bonus. It should bring some revenue to the city. 43 days a year, and we spent $300 million to get that. Doesn't make sense to me.
More?
Yeah, right. It doesn't make sense to me. So we spent $300 million plus for 43 days a year. Doesn't make whatever. Anyways, I think where they put it in downtown Sacramento, I don't think people think before they act, and I don't care if it's Sacramento legislation or statewide legislation. They don't think before they act. I think where they put the arena is dumb. I think they could have revamped the old Arc Arena, $300 million. Watch, take $150 million, revamp the old Arc, will make it a newer, nicer place. Take the other 150, because we have homeless there. We have the elderlies there that need care.
Just like Fresno's got a homeless problem.
Right. So why, instead of putting 300, why don't you take 150, revamp the old one, and put another $150 million into our community, into the homeless, into the elderly, those that need. I'm not saying those that are able to work but just don't want to. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about our elderly, our homeless. There's homeless families out there, and it's sickening to know that these kids don't have a chance.
Only got 30 seconds. Hey, quick email question. Did you ever get an '89 Super Bowl ring? You just got the watch, huh?
Yeah, just to watch. It would have been cool if I got a ring. I know.
Oh, well.
Right?
It would have been nice to have a ring.
Yeah,
huh?
it would have been really nice.
You helped them win.
I should have got a ring. I'm just saying.
Hey, Tony, I'm so happy that you drove down from Sacramento.
Thank you, buddy. It was nice that you invited me out here,
I appreciate it. Wow, I feel like I've known you forever.
We
have.
And
your family. And
we have.
Give your family my best.
I will, man.
Always, man. So we'll talk to you later. Thank you for Tony Lopez's appearance here on the program today. Remember, on Monday, Charles C. Johnson. Stay cool. It's going to be 107 today. Have a great weekend. See you back Monday.